All right, let's dive into the future. We're going to be looking at the top tech predictions for 2025. We've got Gartner's top 10 report, some investment analyses, even a little peek into influencer marketing and clinical trials. Ready to see what the future holds.
Definitely. And it's not just about cool new gadgets. This is about some really big changes in how we live and work and, just interact with the whole world.
Okay, well, let's just jump right into it with quantum computing. Feels like everyone's talking about it, Gartner, BlackRock's new ETF. So what's with all the hype?
It's more than hype. Quantum computing could really change everything, especially for security. Just imagine like online banking, government stuff, even military secrets all of a sudden vulnerable. That's the kind of disruption we're talking about here.
Wow, that sounds intense. Gartner even specifically said post-quantum cryptography is a critical trend. So I guess we've got to figure out new ways to protect our data, right?
Right. Quantum computers could totally break the encryption we use for, well, everything. So people are rushing to create this quantum-resistant security, which is a whole other world.
It's like a tech arms race or something, with quantum computing pushing everyone to innovate in cybersecurity.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And while we're talking about game-changing tech, we can't ignore AI. It's not just a simple tool anymore. It's becoming what Gartner calls agentic.
Agentic AI, what is that?
Okay, so think about it this way. Instead of just doing what we tell it to, AI is starting to act on its own, make its own decisions. Like imagine AI that doesn't just analyze the market, but actually makes trades for you, all by itself. That's the potential of agentic AI.
Whoa, that's kind of freaky and exciting at the same time. What does that even mean for jobs, for the economy?
Yeah, that's a good point. As these AI systems get more independent, we need to think about how to control them, make sure they, do what we want them to. No surprise then that AI governance platforms are on Gartner's list too.
So it's like AI is going from a tool to a partner, maybe. And we have to figure out how to manage that relationship.
Exactly. And as we're figuring out this whole AI thing, technology is also kind of quietly becoming more integrated into our lives in a way that's almost invisible.
You mean like those smart tags everyone's talking about?
Yeah, smart tags are one example. We're moving towards this idea of ambient intelligence, where technology, just knows what we need, works in the background. Imagine your devices all working together seamlessly, your home adjusting to you, information just there when you need it.
That sounds super convenient. But I can't help but think about privacy. With smart tags connecting, everything to the internet, the lines between real life and the digital world are getting blurred.
That's a really important point. As tech becomes more and more a part of our lives, we got to think about the trade-offs, like how much of our privacy are we willing to give up for all this convenience? These are questions we're going to have to deal with as ambient intelligence gets bigger.
It feels like we're at the start of some big technological changes. Quantum computing, AI becoming more independent, tech becoming part of our everyday lives.
Yeah, it's a fast-changing world, and we have to keep up. The choices we make today are going to shape the future.
That's a good point. And we're just scratching the surface here, ready to look at some surprising trends that maybe aren't getting as much attention.
Yeah, I think the most interesting stuff sometimes comes from places we least expect.
Like clinical trials. One article talked about how technology is making them easier, faster, and maybe even cheaper.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Technology is breaking down barriers. We're talking about wearable tech for remote monitoring, AI analyzing all the data. It has the potential to really change healthcare.
So AI isn't just stealing jobs, it's actually helping us solve some of the world's big problems.
It's all about how we use it, right? We can use tech to solve problems, to improve lives, to create a better future.
Speaking of solving problems, another area where tech is making a difference is influencer marketing.
It's not just about finding the influencer with the most followers anymore. It's gotta be the right fit for the brand, the message. AI can actually help with that, analyzing all that audience data, making sure the campaigns are effective, even optimizing the content itself.
So AI is helping to make marketing more targeted.
Exactly. It's making the whole landscape more dynamic, more efficient. It's changing how brands and their audience connect.
Okay, so we've got quantum computing, AI, ambient intelligence, and how tech is changing healthcare and marketing. It's a lot to think about.
And we're just getting started with our exploration of the 2025 tech trends. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll get into even more mind-blowing stuff.
We're back, diving deeper into these 2025 tech trends.
Yeah.
Last time, quantum computing, AI getting more independent, and tech becoming like part of our lives. So where do we even go from there?
Well, what about a world where, the digital and physical are basically the same? That's spatial computing, one of the big things Gartner's talking about.
Spatial computing, that's pretty futuristic. What is that exactly?
So think about interacting with digital stuff like it's really there, like AR, 3D visualizations that you can actually move around, even stepping into virtual worlds.
Oh, so like walking into a video game. I've seen articles about like spatial computing in retail for a more immersive shopping experience.
Yeah, exactly. It could revolutionize tons of industries. Imagine architects designing buildings together in a virtual space, or surgeons practicing complicated surgeries on virtual patients before they even get to the operating room.
Wow, that's pretty wild. It's like spatial computing could just totally change how we shop, learn, experience, well, everything.
Right. Imagine trying on clothes virtually, or seeing how a new couch would look in your living room before you buy it, or even taking a virtual tour of some place you've always wanted to go.
All this amazing tech makes me think about, the environment. Are we sacrificing sustainability for all this progress?
That's a great question, and luckily sustainability is becoming a really big deal in tech. Gartner actually highlighted energy-efficient AI as a major trend.
So AI that's smart A&D, good for the planet. I like the sound of that.
Right, because as AI gets more complex, it uses more and more energy. That's a problem. So developers are creating algorithms and hardware that use way less power, but still get the same results.
It's great that sustainability is becoming a part of all these advancements. It's like we're not just creating the future, we're creating a responsible future, hopefully. What are ways is tech being used to help with, like environmental stuff?
Well, AI is incredible at analyzing massive amounts of data. From satellites, sensors, weather patterns, we can use that to pinpoint areas that are at risk from climate change and figure out how to respond to environmental threats.
One article even mentioned using AI to monitor deforestation and predict natural disasters.
Yeah.
It seems like AI is becoming less of a job thief and more of a partner in tackling these huge problems.
Yeah, I mean, it all comes down to how we use it, right? We have the potential to really make a difference with technology, to improve lives and create a better future.
Okay, so we've covered quantum computing, AI becoming more independent, ambient intelligence, this whole spatial computing thing, and the rise of sustainable technology. Where does that leave us?
Well, I think we're on the verge of a technological revolution unlike anything we've ever seen before, and all these trends are kind of mixing together in ways that are hard to predict. But one thing is for sure, the world is going to look very different in a few years.
It's exciting, but also kind of scary. But, like you said before, knowing what's coming is half the battle. What other exciting corners of the tech world are we about to explore?
Next, we're going even further. We'll be looking at the trends, pushing the boundaries of, what it means to be human. Biohacking, brain-computer interfaces, the future of human augmentation. Get ready for a wild ride.
And we're back for the final part of our deep dive into those 2025 tech trends. We've gone from quantum computing to AI getting all independent, and now we're stepping into this world where tech and biology, well, they kind of become one. We're talking human augmentation.
Yeah, that's right. We're talking about technologies that can actually improve our abilities in ways that used to be just science fiction. Stuff like biohacking, brain-computer interfaces. They're changing what it means to be human.
Okay, let's start with biohacking. One of the articles described it as people using technology and DIY biology to basically upgrade their bodies. It's like they're turning themselves into experiments.
Well, in a way, yeah. But it's because people want to push their limits, whether it's being stronger or smarter or even living longer.
So it's about taking control of your own body, using tech to reach your goals. I get why that's appealing. But what about those brain-computer interfaces? That sounds super futuristic.
Yeah, brain-computer interfaces, or BCIs, let your brain communicate directly with devices. Imagine controlling a computer with your thoughts or even a prosthetic limb. People are even looking into using them to treat brain disorders, improve memory, create whole new ways to communicate.
That's insane. It really makes you think, where's the line between human and machine? If we become part machine, does that change what it means to be human?
That's a big question, isn't it? As we get better with technology, we have to think about what it all means ethically, philosophically. How does this change how we see ourselves? What are the risks, the benefits? These are things we have to talk about as this tech gets more common.
Yeah, it's a lot to process. But one thing's for sure, the future is going to be pretty wild.
Absolutely. We're living in a crazy time of constant tech advancements, and we have to make sure we're using them responsibly, to shape the future we want.
Definitely. Well, we've covered a lot in this deep dive into the 2025 tech trends, quantum computing, AI doing its own thing, and even human augmentation. It's been a wild ride. Any last words of wisdom for our listeners out there?
Stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged. The future isn't something that just happens to us, we create it. The choices we make today are the ones that will shape the world tomorrow.
Well said. Thanks for taking us on this journey into the future of technology. Hope our listeners feel inspired to keep exploring these trends and figuring out what their own future looks like. Until next time, keep those minds curious.